And hello there! Welcome back to the Writer's Life Vlogs, where I talk about my own process, what I've been up to, and I offer writing advice and inspiration along the way. Today, I'm going to be talking about my week, as well as a very good writing day that I had. What makes a good writing day? What was my experience? We'll touch on that and more, but first, let's begin with my week. This last month for me has been pretty straightforward. I don't know if you remember, but in January, I was very inconsistent with my writing. I was sick, I was gone for the first chunk of it with family things, and it was one of those like beginning the year kind of thing, beginning slowly, planning stuff, preparing my new bullet journal. It was a lot of things getting in the way of the writing, and for February, I wanted to be more consistent, and so far, as of the recording of this video, I have stayed very consistent, not writing every day because that doesn't work for me, but writing every other day, depending on the situation, but I've stayed very consistent, and I don't think that was inherently the reason behind the very good writing day that I had today, but if anything, the being consistent part, it's getting me closer to that point with this story where I know that it is going to end. I was tweeting about it recently, but like, this story is almost over. Like, we're way over the middle part. The ending is not here yet, but it's coming. It's over the horizon, and every day I get closer to that horizon and that very end. And that's a little happy and a little sad. Writing endings is always the saddest part. Not because of the context of the ending itself, but rather because it is the end of that story and the end of my time experiencing that world for the first time. So, if anything, all this consistency has helped me, and by consistency I mean, this is the writing day, this is what happened, this is what's happening today, and nothing else is getting in the way. And I make the time to do the writing first and foremost in my day. That takes focus, and I've stayed, consistent throughout the entire month, so far as of the recording of this video. Nothing too crazy has come up, and it's felt good. It's actually felt great to get back on that train, I guess, of like, this is the day for this is what's happening here today, and I'm arranging my schedule thanks to my bullet journal, looking ahead, looking in my weekend going, okay, this day this happens, this day this happens, and these are the writing days that are holy and sacred and nothing else is getting in the way, and that's helped. Other than that, what has my life been about? Well, it's time for that, a weekly segment of Max Talks About Monster Hunter World for exactly 60 seconds, and go! What have I been doing in Monster Hunter World? I'm about to fight Nergigante for the first time. I'm a big giant baby, so I'm scared of fighting him. I'm scared of fighting Nergigante, even though I fought him in the beta, but that's fine. Shh, don't worry about it. I've been using the hunting horn for all of my time up until literally this week when I started using the dual blades, because I've been using the hunting horn, and the hunting horn is nice, and I actually miss using it, because giving yourself buffs and giving your allies buffs is so good. It's very slow and methodical, and I really appreciate that, and learning to use it, oh my god, I'm almost out of time, I'm halfway through. I've been using dual blades, because they're quick and fast, and when you are doing in demon mode, you're running like a ninja, and it's cool, it's fun, I'm having fun. I've cleared up through all my optional quests, so all that's left is to go fight Nergigante, so hopefully my first real Elder Dragon fight is not gonna be too scary. It probably will. It probably will stump me into the ground, but that right there is 60 seconds of Monster Hunter talk. Thank you for tuning in. And now, my week, consistency, focusing on writing, taking care of other things like these videos, and my own personal projects with my friends and family, and, of course, Monster Hunter World. What a great game that is. I've put so many hours into that game. It's so good. It's so good. It also doesn't help that Kitty is been closing a lot at her work, so I have nothing else to do at night, so I'm just like, well, I'll just play Monster Hunter World until she comes back at like 10 at night. So that's been my week. But with that out of the way, let's move forward into the subject of the day. I had a very good writing day. Now, what do I mean by a good writing day? It was one of those experiences, and it's funny because from the get-go, it didn't look like a good writing day. Kitty and I had a couple of very stressful days due to an unwanted visitor in our house that may or may not have taken the form of a mouse. I'm under NDA, I can't discuss it, but there might have been a mouse in the house, and there was a lot of stress for both of us, and for our cat, who's not a good hunter. We have learned that today, Or we learned that day. It was really stressful, we didn't have a lot of sleep, so going into my next writing day, because, you know, that's the holy sacred day for writing and nothing else is getting in the way, a part of me was like, I'm not feeling good, maybe I should just get out, maybe I should stay under the covers and rest and sleep in, but that's not how consistency works. If you say you're gonna do the thing, you go and you do the thing, that's how it works, that's how you get things done. So, I started really late. I started the latest that I've ever started, which is like going out to write at like the middle of the day. I like to wake up early. I like to eat my veggies first. I get the stuff that is the hardest out of the way first thing in the morning. So I like to do my writing as early as I can. So the idea that I'm starting writing in the middle of the day is already bad. And you would think that, this was gonna be a bad day, one of those bad writing days when the words don't come to you and you're just sitting there looking at the blank page, wondering, you know, or feeling the imposter syndrome settling in, and that wasn't how it unfolded. I sat down at a coffee shop because I wanted to get out of the house, and the words came to me, and it was one of those days where maybe it was a combination of the particular scene that I was writing, and maybe also my own mental state, and maybe also the fact that the cup of coffee I'd been sipping on was finally coming into my system, that the words came to me. And I wrote a lot in a very small window of time. And before I knew it, I had hit my soft quota for the day. Again, I generally tend to write until I have nothing else left to say, but I do have kind of a soft quota, just to make sure that I'm staying in pace and that I'm not, you know, tricking myself into being lazy. So, I hit my soft quota for the day, and I'm sitting there going, like, I haven't even taken a break. It's been a couple hours, but I like to take a break in the middle of writing. You know, maybe go back to the counter and maybe get something to eat, a sandwich or something, another cup of coffee. No. Too much caffeine. But, I was sitting there, and I hit my soft quota, and I'm like, it's only been, like, a couple hours, and I'm done. And it was one of those really weird things. If I had to break it down to analyze the elements that help that be a good writing day, because I don't think it was starting late, I don't think so. I think what helped me, I think in part must have been the scene that I was writing. It was a very emotionally tense writing scene, or emotionally tense scene. The kind of situations where bad things are happening, but characters are talking about it, and not much dialogue, because this story is actually very dialogue light. It's mostly narration. It's first-person point of view, so even though it's narration, I guess it is kind of like dialogue when you think about it, because it's someone telling a story, but whatever, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It was a scene with a lot of things happening. It was a scene with a clear direction. And aside from that, because there's something to be said about, yeah, okay, the writing came to me easily, but one of the other things that helped me a lot was the lack of distractions. I've gone back to using my favorite productivity app, Forest, especially when I'm out and about. One of the worst things you can do for yourself is to be checking your phone the whole time, or just going in to check Twitter just to see if anyone liked that tweet you made. You know, those distractions are not healthy, and especially for being in the middle of writing, you're gonna be breaking momentum. So I've been using Forest again, which is a cute little iPhone/Android app that basically soft locks you out of your phone. You plant the tree, and for the time that you put in the app, you cannot do anything on your phone. And if you try to do so, you will kill that tree. So it's the good old power of guilt tripping that allows anyone to achieve whatever their wishes are. So you plant the tree and you don't kill it by committing to the things you want to do. And in my case, it was writing. I planted a couple trees and I focused on writing. And I must admit that sometimes I'm really bad checking my phone when I'm writing, so going back to Forest has also helped. So I think it must have been, I mean, aside from the caffeine, which I guess we must always give credit to the caffeine, aside from the caffeine, I think it was the nature of the scene, which allowed me to just see it unfold almost effortlessly. It was weird. It was one of those scenes where, like, things are happening and they're detailed things, but the words are coming to me fast and furiously now. They're coming to me quickly, and I'm just registering them as fast as I can. But aside from that, I think also staying away from the phone, It's harder when you use your phone to listen to music. So like that's one of those things where I'm like, I almost feel the desire to go dig up my old iPod just so that I can listen to music while I'm writing, but not be lured to just check my phone and see who has posted a comment on my latest vlog or writing advice video. It's something that I'm gonna have to look into. I'm sure that that iPod is somewhere in my parents' place, so I might have to go take that out. I don't know. At the end of that day, once I hit my soft quota and I was done, it wasn't as early in the day as I would have liked because I started really late, but it was one of those things where generally high productivity, gotta make those numbers as big as possible. Max from 2 months ago would have been like, okay, well, time to just write even more, but I didn't do that. I didn't fall for that pit trap right there, because I've been focusing on consistency. And one of the things that I kind of want to make sure that you realize and acknowledge, because it's easier to listen to these things but not actually internalize them. Writing the same number of pages consistently every few days for a prolonged time is better than trying to do a lot of pages in one or a couple of days. Consistency, consistency, consistency. A part of me thought that, yeah, maybe I can tag along here for a couple more hours and double my page count for the day. But it was also late, and I wanted to get back home and take care of things, and once again, focus on living. Because it's very easy, especially when you do writing for a living, to focus on work. And this month I've been focusing on consistency. And as I mentioned in the previous section, even though I hit my soft quota really quickly, and I didn't super commit to doubling that soft quota, I'm still super ahead this month because I've been consistent. Because whenever there's been days to sit down and write, I sit down and I do it. And I respect those days because they're holy and they're sacred. Nothing else gets in the way. And if I'm a little tired, I just start late. And if I'm feeling good, I start super early and get that out of the way. So once again, consistency, consistency, consistency. As they say, it doesn't matter how fast you go as long as you never stop. So keep on writing, even if it's a little bit, every couple nights. Respect those writing days, for they're holy and they're sacred, and keep on writing, okay? Alright, I hope this conversation helped, and I hope that you go out there and the stars align, and you have a good writing day. And even if you don't, you're putting words on the page no matter what, and you're moving forward. And that right there is all that matters. Hey there, my name is Max, also known as M. Karen. Did you know that I take questions from the comments down below as ideas for topics and subjects for future videos? Now you do. Additional to that, did you know that I have a Twitter account where I post about my updates, what I've been writing about, and of course, writing jokes, because that's what I do, and whatever I'm doing in Monster Hunter. I like to post clips and pictures of my character because I'm a giant nerd. Also, did you know I have a Patreon account? Patreon.com/mkaren is the #1 place to support me and my channel. By pledging as little as $1 a month, you can watch my videos a week before they go up on YouTube. If you're caught up right now, and you're like, Max, I need more Max in my life. I want to know. I want to live in the future. Pledge $1, patreon.com/mkaren, and watch next week's videos. Live in the world of the future. And also, if you pledge a little more, you can get copies of my books, signed copies of my books, early access to my ebooks, my very secret, super duper secret podcast, and of course my writing scene mailed to your doorstep every single month, and shoutouts like the following people. Hey there. You're all cool, and I really appreciate your support. Your continued support makes this possible, and as always, this shout out here is the very least I can give you guys. And now, we are at the end slate, the very end of the video. I want to let you know that on the screen right now there should be 4 things. A button to subscribe with my cute little pixel face on it. A playlist where you can go and watch countless writing advice videos, over 300 now I think. Also, a link to my Patreon on that rainbowy kind of pea-looking icon thing. And of course, as always, a link to my other channel with my best friend Kitty, where we play games, review anime, and we're very, very, very silly people. Thank you for tagging along. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. And I hope that you have a lovely, lovely, lovely writing day.